Do anime characters actually need rivals? Because I saw a post a while ago, I think it was on TikTok, about how somebody said that Sasuke wasn't originally supposed to be in Naruto, that he was edited into the story so that Naruto could have a Vegeta-like rival to help, boost Naruto's popularity. And it is a very interesting point to really think about, because at this point, Sasuke is like, pivotal to the Naruto storyline. But if you really sit here and think about it, what would Naruto be like if Sasuke was not in the show at all? Like, the show is just about Naruto's story and not 90% of the story about Naruto trying to find Sasuke so that he could be his friend again. And it would really be interesting to see like what a lot of other animes would really be like without the main character having a rival, or having a Vegeta-like rival that is basically part of like 90% of the story, or at least the start of the story. Because we've all seen, the Shonen Jump animes where we get introduced to the main character, but then soon after that we either find out that like the main character's rival is majority of the time like a bully or something like that, somebody bullying the main character saying you'll never be anything, you'll never be good, you'll never be good at this, you'll never be a good fighter, or blah blah blah. And then eventually they become friends, and then they basically have the Goku and Vegeta friendship. It's the age-old thing of rivals becoming friends and shit like that. But I kind of just want to talk about like what would do anime characters actually need rivals, or are rivals actually making stories a lot better than they would be without the rivals?
Now a word from our sponsor.
Hi, before using Dubby, I was a father of 12. But now, after Dubby, I'm a deadbeat dad.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Let's see what we got in here for the Dubby. Dubby! We got the motherfucking... We got the motherfucking... We got the motherfucking... Oh, shit. So the first flavor of Dubby, we have peach and beet.
You what?
Second flavor of Dubby, we got the dragon milk. Next flavor we have laxative.
What?
Laxy grenade. Next flavor we have this is a zero sugar powder pack. And last but certainly not least, we have Heinz Berry Splash. I'm Wasabi, and this has been your Dubby advertisement.
Because funny enough, learning that Sasuke wasn't originally gonna be in Naruto really intrigued me, because it really made me think about like what the Naruto storyline would have been without Sasuke. Because for majority of Naruto, at least the very first series of Naruto, it was just about him finding Sasuke and him trying to get Sasuke to come back to the Leaf Village. Like, that was always the overarching story of Naruto. Like, no matter what subplots we went into, it would all tie back into Naruto trying to get Sasuke to come back to the village. No matter what was happening, by the way. Even when Pain came in and just destroyed the fucking Leaf Village, Naruto still wanted to, bring Sasuke back to the Leaf Village. After everything that had happened, like no matter what was going on, he wanted Sasuke to come back to the Leaf Village. That was always the overarching story of Naruto, and they never really, strayed away from that. But I do feel like it would have forced them to be a little bit more, creative with Naruto's story, instead of it just being the typical, friends, instead of it being a typical, rivals become friends angle that they ended up doing in the end of Naruto Shippuden anyways. They just took like a very long, route around to basically saying like, oh, they were rivals, then they became friends, and then they became rivals again, then they became friends. That's basically the entire plot of Naruto, with a bunch of other, subplots thrown in. But I feel like the stuff that happens in Naruto, in the animes like Naruto, would have way more of an impact if half of the anime wasn't focused on being, it being rival versus rival type thing. Because I feel like the stuff with Madara would have hit way harder if we didn't have to worry about what the fuck Sasuke was doing, on the other side of, the fucking like Sound Village or something like that. Sasuke randomly invading, the Kage Summit and shit like that. I feel like it would have been like I feel like we would have had, way more time for side characters even, like Lee and Kiba and Neji. I feel like they wouldn't have gotten as much, I feel like they wouldn't have gotten as nerfed as they did in Shippuden if we would would have had more time to focus on their stories and how it ties into the overarching, storyline of Naruto. Like, a lot of things really would have went, like a completely different direction if Naruto didn't have the rival that he has to keep up with, every single episode. And really, you can say the same for a lot of other animes, even animes that aren't like the typical, Shonen Jump animes, stuff like Afro Samurai. Even Afro Samurai, had a rival. Like, Afro still had to fight, his rival. Even One Punch Man has Gino, Deku has Bakugo, and even in My Hero, it's the same, generic story of the main characters being bullied by the main characters being bullied by dude who eventually be his rival because the rival think he ain't shit. Like, fuck you, Deku, you just a piece of shit, until he gets his powers and shit. Then it's they become friends later on down the line. Then Deku becomes edgy, and then now the rival has to save his now friend and everything like that. But what if Deku wasn't a bullied child and was actually strong and was able to stand up for himself and didn't have to deal with Bakugo being a rival? What if the story was just about Deku, like how it's supposed to be? Because you really can name Naruto and Sasuke, and it really wouldn't change anything, because the show, yes, while it being mostly about Naruto, it's basically only about Naruto and Sasuke, just throwing in a random villain of the week a lot of the times, especially old Naruto. Sasuke and Naruto want to beat each other by running up the tree. Oh shit, here comes Zabuza. It's the fucking Smash Brothers, new enemy appearing type shit with Naruto. And no, I'm not saying all the time, but it's like that a lot with Naruto, and it is like that with a lot of other animes. But animes, not having rivals, I feel would definitely force anime studios to be way more creative with how they write the main hero, because a lot of the times the main heroes in animes always have the same tropes to them, and they annoy me a lot of the times. Personally, I'm sick of the main character being bullied by the rival and shit, and then once they get their powers, everybody just stop bullying them and shit like that. No, if they really don't fuck with them, don't have them fuck with them the entire series. Hell, make the rival become the main villain toward the end of the series or something like that. I'm tired of the main character, I don't mind Deku, but it's when I tried to, when I was first watching My Hero, it's why does he have to be the bullied main character who can't stand up for himself? I know he don't have a quirk, but why is this always the way that we have to, have sympathy for the character? It's either they're bullied or they have to have some, overly dramatic, backstory to make us have sympathy for them. I feel there are a lot of other ways to create sympathy for a main character outside of them being bullied, or, their whole family, or their whole family mysteriously dying in some tragic story that you don't get until a random, emotional scene in, the middle of the anime. Honestly, I would love to have a regular Shonen Jump anime where the main character does not have a rival, and where the main character and where the story is just about the main character and whatever villains or tribulations he has to face. And I would love an anime to where the character is able to stand up for himself throughout the entire anime and not be this bullied kid or this depressed child who doesn't have a family at all, because that trope really fucking annoys me. And also another thing, it would force them to actually have to write side characters to be interesting, because a lot of times with these Shonen Jump animes, the side characters are a lot of times the most least interesting thing in the show, and they're just there to be fodder before the main character shows up and beats the bad guy or something like that. Because we all see this a lot with Dragon Ball and the way that they treat Vegeta, and I fucking hate the way that Dragon Ball has always treated Vegeta. Ever since the Frieza saga ended, he became a side character. He's not even a main character anymore, especially in the Cell saga and the Buu saga. They basically just use him for fodder for Goku in every situation, because Vegeta always would come in, make this badass entrance, then just get his ass whooped for then just get his ass whooped for 10 fucking minutes right after that. I love the BoJack movie, right? The BoJack movie was a really good Dragon Ball Z movie to me. How the fuck does everybody end up getting their ass kicked, and then Vegeta comes in leave them to me, and then just gets his fucking ass kicked in 2 minutes and detransforms? It's why even have him in the movie if you're not gonna have him have significant impact in the movie? He couldn't have took out the minions that BoJack had with him. No, he couldn't have did nothing. It's the same thing in the Super Android 13 movie. He comes in, badass entrance, gets his ass kicked. But my random Vegeta ran aside, like stuff like that would be forced to be written, you know, better, because the main character isn't feuding with one of the side characters the entire time. The main character is focused on the main story. And the supporting cast has to be more interesting, because you can't just write them off as, oh, they had a mission over there and that's why you're not going to see them for 10 to 15 episodes and shit like that. It would force them to have more creativity with writing the side characters better, and it would force the side characters to become more important. Because imagine if in Naruto there's no Sasuke around, like Sasuke is nowhere to be found and the story is just about Naruto. That would force them to give people like Rock Lee and Neji, Kiba and Shino and Hinata and Tenten more screen time. We would get more screen time from the other 99 or 98% of the Naruto cast, so that we can learn more about them and have more scenes with them, so that they can feel more important, so they just won't feel like background characters a lot of the times. Because Tenten is never in the fucking show at all. She gets her ass kicked by Tamari in the first, tuning exam, and then you don't see her for like another 20 episodes. So I just feel like it would really be beneficial for, Shonen to stop having, a side character that's just there to be a rival for the main character, even though we know the main character will just wipe the floor with their rival by, like, after a certain point any fucking ways. Like, we all know that if Naruto wanted to kill Sasuke on the many times that they fought, he could have. We know Goku could kill Vegeta. We know that One Punch Man could absolutely one-shot Gino, but yet the side character comes around like the random Pokemon rival you get in every Pokemon game, even though you know for a fact that show level 65 fucking Charizard is just going, one shot every single one of their Pokemon. They still come around and act like y'all finna have like a fair and even fight. Like, no, like, it's not fair. This is not even. Like, he's gonna wipe the fucking floor with you. Like, it's not even a fucking competition at this point. And I just feel like it would be really interesting to see if that actually is a trend that, like, comes out. It would be really interesting to see if that's something that a lot of anime studios explore. I highly doubt it, especially since, the anime rival has become such like it's one of the most used tropes in anime, along with a lot of other random tropes that get on my nerves. But it probably won't go away anytime soon. But I would love to see, like, a shonen anime to where the main character doesn't have a rival, like, within any point of the show, mind you. Because some animes do have stuff where, like, the main character won't have a rival, but like later in the show the main character will eventually have a rival, and it's basically Goku and Vegeta like all over again. But I would love to see a shonen anime to where the main character does not have a rival, because the more I think about that video, I don't think that main characters need rivals for the main character to have good writing, or to be a good character in general. I feel like you can write a good main character without them not having to have a rival, or any of the other random generic anime tropes that they do. Like, if we're gonna keep having anime tropes, at least make some new ones that are new and fresh and exciting and shit. But all in all, I don't think that anime characters need rivals. And really, it would be a change for the better if animes are written to where the main character does not have a rival, because it would just force anime studios to be a little more creative with Shonen Jump animes, and not just keep recycling the same old the bully character. It would force anime studios to not just keep doing the same old where, like, main character gets bullied, but now he has magical powers and now everybody looks up to him and respects him because he's the hero of the city or universe or whatever the fuck. It would just force anime studios to be just a little bit more creative, and I really would want that. I would really fuck with that. But let me know what y'all think. Do y'all really think that anime characters need rivals? Or do you think that it's time for, anime studios to stop putting in the generic anime rival, for every single anime main character?